Deepwater Horizon is a disaster thriller film and stars Mark Wahlberg, Kurt Russell, and John Malkovich. And the film is about the Deepwater Horizon oil rig disaster, which has been labeled as one of the worst oil rig disasters in US history. For the most part, I enjoyed the film, but there was something from the get-go that bugged me. And like the second half of this film, I really much like, and I'll get into that shortly, but the first half of this film, it was unremarkable. The way this first act went, I thought I would have been bored out of my mind. The performances that these actors gave was average. I can't fully explain, but there was something with this first act that bothered me. And this first act nearly ruined my experience with this film. Here's the biggest problem with this first act. In the first act, they try and do some comedy, and this is what I hate. When a true story film is based on an accident, and a tragic one at that, for some reason they want to put humor in there. Here, it just doesn't work. This film is about the worst oil rig disaster in history, and you know, people died, and yet there's comedy in this film. And the thing that really bothered me was, like, the jokes for the most part were funny, and they did get laughs from the audience, but I didn't laugh once, because I went into this film expecting a hardcore drama, because this event was huge. This made worldwide news. So I find it kind of offensive that they put humor into a film like this. And if the second act wasn't as brilliant as it was, I would have given this film, based on the first half, a 5.5 out of 10. But once the second half kicks in, and this is when the accident happens, this entire second half is the stuff of filmmaking brilliance. This entire second act was well shot, had the best sound I've ever heard. Never has the sound of pipes about to rupture been so terrifying. The sound was hands down top notch. If you've noticed in my reviews, I usually don't bring up sound because most of the films I review, the sound has never been that spectacular. Here, the sound was the first thing I noticed, and it sounded amazing. And I know I said at the start how the performances from the actors was average. In the second half, it gets a little bit better, not that much, but you can definitely tell the acting gets a lot better because there is a sense of urgency and tension. And in my opinion, this film is one of the rare films that captures the human spirit. Because you got people trying to help others, you got people trying to save as many lives as they possibly can. It's rare films like this that perfectly capture the human spirit. Overall, the first act, like I said, is underwhelming, unremarkable, and it's the weakest part of this film. And everything else I mentioned at the start is there and can be a bit jarring at points and a bit dull. But then when the second half kicks in, it gets brilliant. Like I said, well shot, has the best sound I've heard in ages, and at points of this film made my heart race. I can't remember the last time my heart was racing for a film like this. And you can definitely tell in the second half the filmmakers wanted to make something great, and they did. And if it wasn't for the brilliance of the second half, I would have given this film a 5.5 out of 10. But the second half made up so much, I'm going to give Deepwater Horizon an 8 out of 10. Thank you for watching. If you like what you see, be sure to like my Facebook page, follow me on Twitter, and subscribe to my channel below. As always, I'm NETX5. Thank you so much for watching.